Baldur's Gate 3 has well over 600 spells at launch, which can be quite overwhelming. In this video series, I will be ranking the top 10 spells for each and every spell level, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss an episode. Today, we are taking an in-depth look at the best first level spells of the 45 currently available in Baldur's Gate 3. This is the second video in the series, so make sure you check out our cantrip ranking video to ensure you're ready for character creation. Now, with that out of the way, let's get nerdy. Starting the level 1 spell ranking off at number 10 is Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark is a commonly used ranger spell to enhance their powers in hunting and combat. While cast as a bonus action, the ranger chooses a target that they can see within range, marking it as their prey until they finish a long rest. The spell's effect grants the ranger several benefits in dealing with that particular target. Firstly, whenever the ranger hits the marked target with a weapon attack, they deal extra damage in the form of an additional 1d6 of damage. Also, the ranger gains advantage on wisdom perception or wisdom survival checks to locate or track marked targets, as well as on wisdom survival or intelligent investigation checks made to learn information about the target. Hunter's Mark is a concentration spell, meaning it requires the ranger's ongoing focus to maintain its effects. However, it allows the ranger to focus their combat powers on a specific foe, making them more effective in pursuing their prey or dealing with particularly challenging adversaries. The spell's versatility and synergy with other ranger abilities make it a go-to choice for many ranger characters in Baldur's Gate 3. In 9th place is Hex. Hex is a classic warlock exclusive spell used to inflict a powerful curse upon their enemies. When cast as a bonus action, the warlock selects a creature they can see within range, placing a malevolent hex upon it. The spell's effect grants the warlock several advantages when dealing with a hex target. Once the hex is cast, the target suffers an additional 1d6 necrotic damage whenever the warlock hits it with an attack, as well as has disadvantage on ability checks for one ability of their choosing. Furthermore, if the hex target drops to 0 hit points during the spell's duration, the warlock can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn to move the hex to a new target, maintaining its curse. Hex is a concentration spell, necessitating the warlock's ongoing focus to retain its effects. The spell's versatility makes it a formidable choice for the warlock, enabling them to focus their malefic powers on specific foes and dealing substantial damage over time. Combining Hex with various warlock abilities and evocations creates a deadly synergy, making the spell a staple for many warlock characters. Finding its place at 8th on the ranking is Armor of Agathys. Armor of Agathys is another warlock exclusive spell, and it is used to bolster their defenses and inflict icy retribution on attackers. When cast, the warlock is surrounded by a protective magical frost that grants them temporary hit points and deals damage to creatures that hit them with melee attacks. The spell grants the warlock a protective barrier of temporary hit points, which scales with higher spell slot levels, providing a buffer against incoming damage, making it a great spell to protect one's concentration and a premier choice for Gish characters taking a multi-class dip into Warlock. Additionally, any creature that hits the Warlock with a melee attack while the spell is active takes 5 cold damage. This icy retaliation serves as a powerful deterrent to melee foes, discouraging them from attacking the Warlock in close combat. After casting Armor of Agathys, it stays in effect until a long rest, making it ideal for both short skirmishes and longer adventuring days. The spell also scales extremely well, and definitely one of the few good spell options for upcasting. Armor of Agathys' combination of temporary hit points and damaging effects against attackers makes it a favoured spell for warlocks looking to enhance their defensive capabilities and punish their enemies who dare to engage with them in physical combat. In at 7th place is Faerie Fire. Faerie Fire is a bard, druid and ranger spell and provides spellcasters a tactical advantage in combat. When cast, the area becomes bathed in a pale glowing light and creatures within the spell's range must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or suffer the consequences. The spell has a range of 60 feet and affects all creatures in a 20-foot radius, outlining them in radiant colored light for 10 turns. The affected creatures emit a dim light that provides two significant benefits. Firstly, the outlined creatures can no longer benefit from invisibility, as their glowing figures make them easily visible, negating any attempts to hide or use invisibility-based tactics. Secondly, the Faerie fire glow grants attackers an advantage when trying to hit the affected creature with an attack roll. This effect applies as long as the spell is active or until the creature moves out of the spell's area of effect, making them easier targets for the duration of the spell. Faerie fire is particularly useful in battles against elusive or hidden enemies, as it can expose hidden foes and enable the caster's allies to strike them more effectively. Its tactical versatility and ability to neutralize invisibility effects makes it a popular choice for bards, druids and rangers who want to control the battlefield and support their allies. 6th place in the ranking goes to Magic Missile. Magic Missile is renowned for its consistency and effectiveness in combat, and available to sorcerers and wizards. When cast, the spell creates 3 shimmering dart-like missiles of pure magical force, each targeting a separate creature or all directed at a single target. The beauty of Magic Missile lies in its reliability. Unlike other spells that require attack rolls, Magic Missile never misses its mark, automatically hitting its intended target without fail. Due to this unfailing accuracy and force damage that it inflicts, it makes it an excellent choice when facing elusive or heavily armored foes, ensuring that damage is dealt consistently. Magic Missile has a range of 60 feet, and the damage dealt is relatively modest, starting at 1d4+1 force damage per missile, but it increases as the spell is cast using higher level spell slots. For instance, casting Magic Missile using a 2nd level spell slot produces 4 missiles, and a 3rd level slot generates 5 missiles, and so on, significantly increasing the damage potential. Due to its consistent damage output and its ability to bypass most defenses, Magic Missile is a staple spell for many spellcasters, particularly at lower levels. Its reliability, efficiency and versatility serving as both a reliable source of damage and a handy tool to take down specific targets with precision, making it a beloved and essential spell in the arsenal of many spellcasters in Baldur's Gate 3. 5th place overall goes to Dissonant Whispers. Dissonant Whispers is often chosen by characters to exploit the fears and vulnerabilities of their enemies, and available to bards and the Great Old One's warlock subclass. When cast, the mage utters haunting dissonant words, sending a surge of psychic damage into the minds of a single creature that they can see within range. A target within 60 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage and becomes frightened for 2 turns, freezing them in place, unable to move, and suffers disadvantage on all ability checks and attack rolls. Dissonant Whisper's psychological impact is significant, making it particularly effective against lone enemies or creatures who are isolated from their allies. The spell's damage increases with higher level spell slots, adding a further 1d6 for every spell slot level it is upcast with. With its ability to exploit enemy positioning and provoke strategic opportunities, Dissonant Whispers is a valuable spell for those seeking to control the battlefield and deal damage from a distance. Its blend of psychological manipulation and a very reliable damage type makes it a staple for many bard characters. And coming in at 4th, 1 spot shy of the podium, is Sleep. A standout choice for bards, sorcerers and wizards, especially at lower levels of play. Sleep is known for its ability to incapacitate and control entire groups of enemies. When cast, the spellcaster sends magical slumber into the minds of creatures within a 20-foot radius, centered on a point they choose within 60 feet. Starting with the creature with the lowest current hit points, sleep affects creatures in ascending order until the total hit points of creatures affected reaches a maximum of 24 hit points. Creatures with lower hit points are affected first, putting them to sleep before reaching the creatures with higher hit points. Sleep can also be upcast, adding a further 8 hit points for every spell slot used above level 1. Sleep can be a game changer in the early stages of an adventure, especially against groups of lower hit point creatures. It can create opportunities for parties to gain the upper hand, providing valuable time to eliminate enemies or escape entirely from danger. However, it becomes less effective against stronger creatures, as they have high hit point pools. Nevertheless, Sleep remains a tactical and strategic spell for both low and high level play, and its potential crowd control makes it a favored choice for many spellcasters. In at number 3 is Healing Word. Available to the Bard, Cleric, Druid, Paladin and Ranger, Healing Word is often employed to rapidly heal and support their allies during combats or other critical moments. When cast as a bonus action, the caster uses soothing words infused with magical energy to heal creatures they can see within 60 feet. The targeted creature immediately regains hit points equal to 1d4 plus the spellcaster's spellcasting modifier at first level, and increases by a further 1d4 for every spell slot used above level 1. The beauty of Healing Word lies in its efficiency and flexibility. It allows spellcasters to both heal their enemies and perform other actions on their turn. Healing Word is also very useful to bring downed enemies back up and into the fight, whilst the spellcaster remains at a safe distance from the front lines. This spell is invaluable for reviving fallen comrades and keeping the party in fighting shape during intense encounters. Its quick casting time and ranged healing capability make it a staple for support-oriented characters. As spellcasters level up, Healing Word remains a reliable and essential healing spell, ensuring the party's survival and success in their adventures. The second best Baldur's Gate 3 spell is Bless. Bless is available to clerics and paladins and is highly regarded for its supportive and enhancing capabilities. When cast, the spell imbues up to 3 willing creatures of the caster's choosing. It can see within 30 feet with divine favor for 10 rounds. The blessed targets gain a d4 bonus to their attack rolls and saving throws for the duration of the spell, which can significantly improve their chances of success in combat or when resisting harmful effects. Bless is extremely useful for bolstering the effectiveness of melee-focused characters, ranged attackers and spellcasters alike. With its concentration duration, Bless requires the caster's ongoing focus to maintain its effects, but its versatility makes a powerful asset in various encounters. As the spellcaster gains levels, Bless remains effective by affecting more and more targets when upcast, making it a potent choice for both low and high level play. Bless encourages teamwork and enhances the party's overall performance, ensuring they stand a better chance against formidable foes and challenging situations. Due to its valuable supportive nature, Bless is a popular spell choice for clerics and paladins seeking to provide significant buffs to their allies. And my absolute favorite level 1 spell for BG3 is Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Available to the Bard and Wizard, Tasha's Hideous Laughter is a spell that embodies the mischievous and humorous nature of Baldur's Gate 3 and more broadly Dungeons & Dragons as a whole. And in essence, when cast, the spellcaster tells a target within 60 feet the funniest yo mama joke that he's ever heard, compelling the creature to succumb to uncontrollable laughter. Only affecting creatures with an intelligence score of 5 or more, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, incapacitated by fits of laughter for 10 turns. This means the affected target is unable to move or act, and in addition to having that, disadvantage on all strength and dexterity saving throws. Also, All attacks on prone creatures has advantage. The spell's effects last for the spell duration or until the target successfully saves against it. Additionally, the target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of their turns or every time they take damage, ending the effect on a successful save. The consequences of failing a save and being affected by Tasha's Hideous Laughter is so severe that it makes for a great and cheap way to burn through legendary creature resistances or shutting down the biggest baddest baddie in an encounter, likely shifting the odds in your favor. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is excellent for crowd control and disrupting enemy actions. Incapacitating an opponent through laughter can render them harmless in combat, providing valuable time for the spellcaster's allies to focus on other threats or escape the dangerous situation altogether. Looking through the player's handbook, there are a couple of other spells not currently in the game, but would have made this top 10 if they were. These are Shield and Detect Magic. The Shield spell is a defensive magic spell, designed to protect the caster from incoming attacks and increase their survivability. When a character casts Shield, it creates a magical barrier around them and lasts until the start of their next turn. This spell provides a +5 bonus to the caster's AC armor class, which represents how difficult it is for enemies to land a successful attack on them. This is the equivalent of wearing one of the best sets of armor in the game whilst having a shield equipped simultaneously. The bonus can be a game changer, especially in critical situations where the caster's AC is insufficient to fend off an imminent attack. It is also one of the only ways to avoid damage from the magic missile spell, which is a guaranteed hit in all other circumstances. The spell's versatility lies in its reactive nature. It can be cast with a reaction when the caster is targeted by a ranged or melee attack or a magic missile spell. By using Shield, the character gains a momentary boost in their defenses, potentially turning a hit into a miss, avoiding damage, or maybe dying altogether. Last but not least, let's have a quick look at the Detect Magic spell. An easy and accessible utility choice for bards, clerics, druids, paladins, rangers, sorcerers, and wizards, the Detect Magic spell allows characters to sense the presence of magical auras and identify magical items or areas within their vicinity. Casters using Detect Magic can gain an invaluable insight into the mystical world around them. When a character casts Detect Magic, they enter a state of heightened perception, able to see faint auras emanating from magical objects or areas within a 30-foot range. The spell can detect the school of magic associated with each aura, providing clues about the nature and its potential effects. The spell is particularly useful for identifying magical traps, enchanted items, hidden portals, or even illusions. It allows characters to make a more informed decision about the next course of action, aiding them in avoiding potential dangers and/or exploiting magical advantages. While Detect Magic excels at uncovering magical secrets, it does not provide specific details about the exact spell or effect in place, nor does it grant the ability to dispel enchantments. For a more in-depth analysis or dispelling magic, other spells like Identify or Dispel Magic are required. Detect Magic is a valuable tool for spellcasters and their troupe who seek to unravel the mysteries of the magical world and navigate it more safely. Its utility extends beyond combat, making it an essential part of any well-rounded party's magical arsenal. And there you have it, the top 10 or 12 level 1 spells in Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously these are ranked based on my own personal experience playing BG3 and D&D, as well as research undertaken on the topic. So don't only take my word for it, go and do your own research. Tell me which are your favorites. Let me know in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe, and I truly hope to see you again soon.